ex-police chief preyed on a child has now been convicted. This is a horrendous story. Yes, a police chief. Let's put up both of their pictures for a mass. I got something for both of them. Former police chief in Pennsylvania may spend more than 3 decades behind bars for repeatedly raping and sexual assaulting a child relative of his friend. So 30-year-old former chief of police, Brent Getz, to serve a sentence of 16 to 32 years in jail for the crimes that took place over many years. This is horrendous. Chief Getz was initially arrested March 2019, along with his co-defendant in the case, Gregory Wagner, who's on the right. Gregory Wagner was Getz's best friend at the time of the assaults. Wagner, now 31, is a relative of the victim. Wagner, in November of 2020, pled guilty to charges of rape and sexual exploitation of children and agreed to testify against Chief Getz at the trial. He was sentenced in April to 10 to 20 years in state prison. I'm now going to give you some background, and you're going to have to gird yourself for this, all right? I am too. The complainant stated that she had been repeatedly raped orally, vaginally, and anally by both her uncle, Greg Wagner, and co-defendant Chief Brent Getz. She noted that it happened several times a week from the age of 4 through the age of 11, ending shortly before the report in May 2012. The complainant stated that Wagner began his assault when she was approximately 4 years old, and Wagner would come into her bedroom and take her to his bedroom. Wagner would touch the complainant's vagina and had a 4-year-old child perform oral sex on him. She also stated that approximately at age 6, Wagner began having vaginal and anal sex with her as well. And that's when they brought in Chief Getz, who became a participant in these rapes. Getz was a friend of Wagner's who participated in the assaults when he was at Wagner's home. The rapes took place several times a month for approximately 6 years. The victim stated that during the assaults, Wagner would have pornography on in his room. Let me give you some background to this victim, who will be a victor, is a victor because she survived them. The victim was 11 when she first told a substitute teacher that her uncle was raping her. That teacher in turn contacted Children and Youth Services. Children and Youth Services informed the Franklin Township Police, who set up an interview for the girl with the Children's Advocacy Center. The girl set for a lengthy discussion with a forensic interviewer. According to the complaint, she said that Wagner would rub his groin on her genitals, offer her money for sex, and make her watch pornography. Put up the pictures of these sick SOBs. Okay? They did everything this child said they did. One is a chief of police, and the other is a relative of the child, a trusted relative. The Franklin Township Police Department interviewed Wagner in 2012. You see the time frame here? 2012. But when he asked for a lawyer, authorities did not interview him again for over a year. He was free to rape more. No charges were filed after an investigation, according to prosecutors. According to the complaint, the 2 defendants continued to abuse the victim in the interim. Since no one believed her, she recorded a video at one point and sent it to another family member. She was 11. She tells a trusted authority at school. The school contacts the police. Police don't give a damn about her. Rape culture. There were clear signs of abuse. They didn't bother to check. They did not bother to follow up in the investigation because they were afraid, what? That 2 white men got a lawyer? No, this was about Chief Getz being connected to law enforcement as well. In 2015, a complaint was dismissed by a district judge due to what the judge claimed was a paperwork error. You see all these failures? Charges were not refiled after that error. Things changed in 2018, however, when a member of the police force took an active interest in the investigation. The victim, then 17, provided the investigator with new details and the video she recorded 6 years prior. She held on to this for 6 years. By this time, Chief Getz had been appointed as the chief of police. He was in policing for many years. He was appointed chief of police at this time. He was then let go in 2019 after the charges against him were filed. They literally had years to do something. And every time, the authorities who were trusted violated her trust. Every time. And you can't dismiss the reality, the connection between the rape culture in this country and what happened to this child and how the authorities did not take it seriously. Even when she sent the video to a family member, did that family member take it seriously? All right, Adrienne, thoughts here.
It seems one failure after another. But this police chief is well aware of the failures of the system, and so he decided he would exploit them as well as with his buddy. And I can't imagine the trauma that they put that girl through, especially her ability to trust people, going through those formative years, having been violated. And it really does speak to all of the brokenness of the system and who gets preyed upon the most. Also, the thing that really stood out to me is the fact that this police chief was just sentenced to these years in prison, and he's 30 years old. How is it that someone was put in a position of power and yet is so young? While I don't necessarily think age is some kind of should be a barrier in any way to opportunity, we really have to consider this because you're a police chief that considers that's something that should come with a lot of experience and wisdom and judgment. And for this individual to have been promoted to this status and station, it really just makes me wonder about this entire community that they are in. And the fact that I'm sure a lot of things are going on that have not been called out in any way, and that everyone's judgment should be questioned at this point.
Yeah, and I know that it's tough to watch these kinds of segments. I know a lot of the viewers are troubled by these kinds of stories. I'm troubled by them too. I'm troubled when I research them. I'm troubled when I say them, when I cover them. But our trouble is not even 1% of the trouble that this child went through. And because of the strength of this child, we have to do these stories, right? The victim deserves to be heard, and justice must be allocated, not only in the court of law, but also in the court of public opinion.